Hi guys, it's Coley and
Chasey from A Basket Full of Books.
And today we're going to be reviewing some books.
So I had announced on our Instagram channel, our Instagram page, that she would be reviewing Smile and El Defo. We're not going to review one of those today because we're here on the East Coast and we are in hurricane prep mode for Florence. So she has not finished one of the books, but we have a whole table full right here that we're going to talk about. So she's going to talk about Smile first. So you want to talk about Smile?
Yes, so this is Smile and it's by Raina Telgemeier. I don't know how you pronounce that. There you go, if you can see that. I don't know how you pronounce that. But it's about a girl, and when she's like almost 12, she's like racing some of her buddies, and she falls and knocks out one of her front teeth, and the other one goes up and gets stuck in the bone. And so she has to have all of these like problems, and she gets like fake teeth and braces and headgear, and she just has like a lot of problems with her teeth. And she you get to see her go through middle school all the way through high school, and she has annoying little brothers and sisters like most kids.
We have some annoying brothers just off
I
screen
have
here.
some Hello.
Can you say hi?
This is my sis.
All right.
Hey.
All right. Thank you.
All right, and so
I'll just be over here in this corner.
Okay, it's an amazing book. I think you should read it. It's so good.
So this was one of the first times you really read a graphic novel, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, the closest to a graphic novel that I've read is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but this one's like comic book, basically, but less scattered.
So, she actually saw this reviewed on
Studio B,
which she said you should check out the YouTube. And she loved it. Honestly, we checked it out at the library, and we could have returned it the next day because she read it so fast. And it's, yes, it's a graphic novel, but it still is a pretty long book. It's like 200 and some pages, and she blew through it. So.
And the thing I love most about it is at the end, like at the beginning, there's Smile, and she goes, and then at the end, they go smile, and she actually smiles. And the story is a true story. The girl who wrote it actually went through all of this. So,
and can you, and without sharing in a ton of detail, can you relate a little bit to the story?
Mm-hmm.
So when she was little, she actually fell on our hardwood floors and broke out 2 of her front teeth. And so
yes, I was in a dress-up dress that was way too long, big for me. And I had 2 pieces of paper under my knees, and I was like crawling, being silly, and I fell, and I
yep.
And I actually I had teeth like this, or was it like this?
It was like this. They were broken off like that.
Yeah.
So
I
think she can relate to that a little bit.
Not as bad as her though.
But I remember it hurt bad once you tried to yank her out of the floor.
Yeah.
You were a baby.
Okay.
You don't remember.
So one thing that we're going to talk about today is a series that we have discovered, and we really, really like them, Imagination Station.
It's good.
It's good.
Yes. It's about a girl named Beth and her cousin Patrick. And there's this place called Wits End, and I'm not going to share too much because it's kind of fun to discover it and read it and stuff. And they have this machine called the Imagination Station. And they go on these journeys, and they all have these missions to save Albert, who's the owner of Wits End's cousin from old England. Not old England, old England, OLDE England.
So it's been really cool though. They are historical fiction. It's been fun. The first one was called Voyage of the Vikings.
Oh, yeah. So each one has an actual person. Number 1 is called Voyage of the Vikings, and they meet Eric the Red and his son Leif Erikson. And
why was that cool to you?
Because we learn it. We do classical conversations, and we learned it. And
We learned it.
We learned it. And our timeline song. So it was cool to discover.
And then And the next book was,
right here?
no, number 2. We've already turned it back in.
Number
2, we discovered
that
Telemachus.
who was a monk, and he heard a voice of God calling him to tell him to go to Rome.
So that was cool. Number 3, we actually just finished Peril in the Palace, and it had
Kublai Khan.
Kublai Khan.
Well, not Kublai. Sorry, Kubla. Kublai Khan.
Okay. And Marco Polo. And so that's in our timeline.
100
And
years more.
Kublai Khan
And
was
baguette.
Kublai Khan was the grandson or great-grandson of Genghis Khan, which we also know from our timeline. But the cool thing about it has been that it's opened it up for us to read more about the people. So we read about Marco Polo in Peril in the Palace, and then we found who was Marco Polo. So we're about to start that in the next couple days. So it's just really opened the door for us to, let's learn more about Marco Polo. So we've read a little more. So here's our womp womp of the week.
Hold on. Just so you don't think we're perfect, we have books that we don't like.
Yeah. So my rule has been that we read 3 chapters, because we actually read a book last year for CC, and it was terrible. We all did not like it. The Witch of Blackbeard Pond. Everybody raves about it, but we did not enjoy it. And so our rule now is 3 chapters in. If we don't like it, there's too many good books out there to keep reading a book that we don't like. So this week we started The School Story, and it was 8 thumbs down.
Yeah.
8 thumbs down for sure. It's by Andrew Clements, which also wrote Frindle. So I thought we would really enjoy it. We made it about 10 chapters in, because they're really short chapters. Please stop. Please stop. You're making bad choices.
So, Studio B, the girl from Studio B actually said Frindle was really good, but I'm not even going to give it a chance at this point.
Yeah, so that's the kind of the unfortunate that, we're probably not going to read it. But
That's
there's
a
2.
thumbs down.
It's very boring.
It's very boring. So we just didn't get into it. So 10 chapters in, which was, I don't know, roughly 40 pages or so, 50 pages, but it's tight. It's big type. We just said we're done. So that was a big thumbs down for us, unfortunately.
So we're not perfect. We're not book geeks that love every single book we read.
Right. So we have a special guest today who wants to share a review if he wants to come around. Hudson, you want to come back here?
He's going to share a book with us.
So Hudson has been a struggling reader. Reading has not come easy to him. He is very mathematically gifted, and reading just has not been super easy for him. So he loves...
But you can tell he loves cats.
He loves cats. So, tell him about your book.
It's called I Love Cats.
It's I Love Cats by Catherine Mathias.
Okay.
Tell about it.
And I like
You gotta talk loud so they can hear you.
book because I am a really big fan of cats. If I had one, I would cuddle it in bed every day and every night.
Stop.
So that's why I love cats.
And did you find this book pretty easy to read? You were able to read it. Okay.
So, what was your favorite part in this book?
The cats.
The cats. And do you think it's a funny book or just kind of a interesting book or
A cute book.
It's a cute book?
Perfect. So it's part of a series called A Rookie Reader. There's lots of them, it appears, on the back, but it was pretty easy. Consonant, vowel, consonant books or words or CVC. Stop. But he really enjoyed this book. He's read it several times, so that was a good find at the library. One of our other favorite books from the week. Be quiet. this week, part of our memory work for classical conversations were what are the kingdom of living things, and you can see.
If you can see, those are the kingdoms of living.
So one of the kingdoms is
Animalia, Plantae, Fungi, Protista, Archaea, Bacteria.
So one of the kingdoms is fungi, and so we found this fun book at the library called The Fungus That Ate My School. And so it's a fun picture book about fungus.
Yeah.
But it does talk about like what fungus grows on, how it thrives, what would not be an ideal environment.
And you're learning in a way that you don't really realize it. Like, the people came, and they said all it needed was some fresh air, light, and elbow grease. And so you're learning in a way that you don't really get it. But, yeah, it's called The Fungus That Ate My School by Arthur Dorrows.
Okay, Hudson?
But one thing I don't get is why do you need elbow grease?
Because it would be on the walls or it was on the ceilings. You needed some elbow grease to clean it off. So
like it would be good in a bed that had some floor torn out and there could be water dripping.
Sure, there was water dripping in the book. So it's a fun. You can show them, and we're gonna keep
I'm just
this.
gonna show you one of the pictures. So it's funny illustrated, and the fungus is sort of like all the time, and my favorite part. There's a part, and it says, "It's eating everything. It's even eating the universe." But it was actually just eating the pretend universe, like the model universe, like there's Saturn. So that was funny. And Hudson, what was your favorite part of the book?
There was no favorite part of mine.
You didn't like that book?
I liked it.
I liked this part.
It was a funny picture book.
The flood part.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So those are our books this week. We're gonna try to keep this video shorter this week. We have lots of books coming up. She's reading.
There's a hurricane coming.
There's a hurricane coming, so which means we might have some extra reading time.
Yeah.
But we've got some fun books that we're reading this week. Who is King Tut? Who is Marco Polo?
El Defo.
El Defo.
That's
She's
for me.
finishing
That's
up.
That's for me.
Crenshaw, from where we reviewed the one and only Ivan, from Catherine Applegate. We're reading Crenshaw. Yeah, but we haven't finished those yet. So we have lots for next week, but this is just our fun little project. Thanks you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Oh.
And if you didn't see our last video,
comment down and subscribe.
Hit subscribe.
Go see the last video if you didn't get to see that.
Stop.
And go check out Studio B.
Okay.
And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.